Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new show that I'll be doing 3 times a year. This will be taking place after Toy Fair, San Diego Comic Con, and New York Comic Con, where I basically go through everything that's been revealed during the weekend from Hasbro and stuff. Toy Fair was last week, and we've gotten a ton of Marvel Legends news for the coming months. We've gotten the full wave of Marvel Legends, which is tied into the Homecoming movie, as well as the full second wave of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Legends. We also had a preview of the Thor wave and 2 more figures for the Marvel Knight or Defenders wave. We also had a ton of excellent exclusives, some of them being the best in the show, but I'm only going to talk about the general retail waves this week, and next week I'll talk about all the exclusives. I'd also like to thank JC, Shartimus Prime, and the team at Marvelous News for their excellent work this weekend, providing us loads of images and loads of news, which I use in this video. For this video, I'll be going through each figure, giving my reaction to the figure, a bit of background on the character or the costume, if it's a character we've had before, it's just a different costume, and why you do and sometimes don't need the figure in your collection. We have a lot to go through, so let's get started. Also, please note there will be some very heavy spoilers for the video concerning certain storylines in the comics. I'll start off with the Spider-Man wave because I love the Spider-Man line. It's actually the best thing to come out of Marvel Legends for a while. And for that line, we've had some very long sought after characters and some costumes. Like I said before, this wave would be tied in with the Homecoming movie, and there is some figures for that, but I will talk about them together at the end because I want to leave this for comic book collections. The first figure we have to buy multiples of is the Cosmic Spider-Man, a long sought after costume for Spider-Man. I already went through the background of this costume in my Spider-Man Needs video, so I'll run through it quickly. Peter Parker, in an effort to save one of his college professors, was blasted with a beam of energy which gave him enhanced powers like flight, super strength, and energy blasts. He later learned that this power was the Enigma Force, which gave him a mission to stop Tri-Sentinel from destroying a power plant which would damage the universe. The second bearded Peter Parker head is the version found in the Spider-Verse storyline, where he's a Peter Parker that has kept the Enigma Force powers after beating Tri-Sentinel. The third head is something new. It is a generic Captain Universe head. You see, when Spider-Man wasn't the only one who had the Enigma Force, there had been many heroes, including the Hulk and X-23, and while most of them kept their basic costumes with a cosmic update, when a normal person gets the powers, they get a costume similar to the Spider-Man with the lower part of the mask open. This is an absolute must for any Spider-Man fan. If you want to build your Spider-Verse collection, or if you just want a brand new Spider-Universe character for your cosmic display. I recommend getting 2 for the Spider-Man version and for the Captain Universe version, which I'll be doing. Next up, we'll talk about the long-awaited Classic Beetle. For the background, this is actually Abnard Jenkins' second costume as the Beetle. The Beetle was a mechanic that once wanted more in life, wanted to be famous. He first fought the Human Torch before jumping in over to Spider-Man. He later joined up with Baron Zemo and became a member of the Masters, and was a founder of the Thunderbolts using the name Mach 1, pretending to be a hero before finding he likes helping people and became a hero. And I think he's at Mach 10 at the moment, or Max X. If you collect Spider-Man villains, you need this. Thunderbolts, Avengers, and Fantastic Four collectors might like this. If they ever do a first appearance version, you could combine him with the Buzzing Beetle and you could collect the Beetle's team that was seen in the Thunderbolts comics. Next is the albino gangster Tombstone. As for the background for this character, Lenny Lincoln is an albino, a person whose skin color is bleach white due to the lack of pigmentations. If he was living in the real world and he didn't have the albino, he would be considered a African American. He lived in the same neighborhood as the Daily Bugle's Robbie Robinson, who he used to bully the whole time. He eventually joined the gang before making his way to lead the gang. He's also the father of the female Beetle we got a couple of ways back. This is a must for any Spider-Man collection, as well as Daredevil and the Superior Folks collection. It could also be used in any street level character like Moon Knight or Luke Cage and Iron Fist, so if you want to add into those you can. For the last comic figure of this wave, we have to talk about the Marvel Now Moon Knight. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about this version of Moon Knight. I do know that he was using various personas during a case, one being Mr. Knight and the other being this. And this was also the costume he wore during the Secret Avengers, and as well as the original Sin storyline, where he was selected as one of the possible candidates to replace Nick Fury as the protector of the universe. Proving once again that Spider-Man's line will include many street level heroes, this one is for your street level display. Like I have my Daredevil, Nick Fury, Iron Fist, Miss Marvel, and various other characters with my Moon Knight to show a street level collection. It's also needed for your Avengers collection, particularly if you never got the other one, for your West Coast Avengers team as well as your Secret Avengers team. Lastly, we have the MCU Spider-Man figures as well as the Vulture and Iron Man. I'm not going to go into too much details with these because the movie's not out yet, and I don't really particularly collect movie figures except if the figure is needed for build the figure. So I'm just going to run through them quickly. The homemade one looks very nice. I love the design of it. I love how it pays homage to a Scarlet Spider, just to reverse the colours a small bit. I also think the head would be nice as a Spider-Man Noir figure if they can just plop it onto the AIM Soldier head. The general release and the one that's coming in the 2-pack for the Spider-Man with the web wings and the Tom Holland head, I don't like sculpted webs on a Spider-Man. I'm sorry, it just makes the figure look messy because the paint never gets into the crevices properly. I do like what they did, I do like the design, but I just never did like the sculpted webs on it. So I might throw that into storage and put the homemade costume into my Spider-Verse collection. As for the Iron Man, it's basically the exact same with an Ultimate Iron Man costume. Jesse Falcon has said that is the... Not Jesse Falcon. Is it Jesse Falcon? One of the Hasbro team, I forget which one, has said that is a design for the Homecoming movie. So if you wanted to have an updated Iron Man, you should put that in your MCU collection. As for the Vulture, this is actually the one I love looking at. While I am kind of pissed that the Build-A-Figure is his wings, I say to people, you try fitting those massive things into a box with Vulture because the things look massive. They're going to have so much detail, including rotating fans and everything. The figure itself actually looks fairly nice. I actually kind of wish it come with a swappable head, not of what's the actor who's playing it, I forget who it is at the moment, but maybe a different reaction head, like the eyes become bigger or something. So I like the figures. There's some of them that I will probably just throw into storage, but I will be keeping the homemade Spider-Man in my Spider-Verse collection, and I will put the rest into my collection until I find a place to have an MCU collection which I have actually put all into storage, so I can have a Transformer display as well. Like I said, if you wanted to put the Spider-Man into your Spider-Man collection, that's fine. And if you're an MCU collector only, then you will need these, and the 2-packs are an absolute must. Next we'll go on and talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Second Wave, which only has 3 figures, but I like to talk about 2 MCU figures that will fit into your comic book collection until we get a proper version of them. We start off with a figure that was revealed before at the New York Comic Con last year, that being Adam Warlock. The reason I'm talking about him now is because in this show they revealed that he was getting a swappable head. For those who don't know who Adam Warlock is or who Magus is, Adam Warlock was originally created to be the perfect being by a scientific group known as the Enclave before escaping and travelling to the stars. He was an important member of the Infinity Gauntlet saga, as well as being a member of Infinity Watch. This figure represents the time he was a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy, when it was relaunched after Annihilation and Conquest. The other head represents his evil doppelganger, the Magus, who he has battled on many occasions. Some people actually believe that makes him Adam Warlock's arch enemy next to Thanos. This is needed for your Cosmic collection, obviously, as well as your Guardians of the Galaxy team and the Infinity Gauntlet saga if you want to recreate that, and of course the Infinity Watch team, as well as your Avengers, because he's constantly popping into that team, and because he first appeared in a Fantastic Four comic book in that collection as well. Next is the other one that was revealed last year that we got another look at, and that is Deathhead number 2. Now, as for the background, this character was created because there was some legal limbo between Marvel and Hasbro at the time, because the first Deathhead was written for the Transformers comic, which was done by Marvel. So there was kind of a legal limbo there where they didn't know if they could use Deathhead 1 anymore, because it was created for the Transformers comics and not for a Marvel comics. This one is a bit different. He's still a space bounty hunter, but his main mainframe came back from the 2050s or 2020 AD, which is another universe to the Marvel universe at the moment. He was only around for a short time. Some people have said that he should be in the X-Men wave, but he is a 90s character, and in the 90s the X-Men appeared in everything. If you wanted Iron Man to battle someone, you put Wolverine into his comic. If you wanted Spider-Man to team up with someone, you team him up with Iceman or the Beast. You know, they were in everything, so that's the reason he was in the X-Men comic books. Now, like I said, I don't really know where you should put this, but I say put it in your Cosmic collection, or if you want to recreate that X-Men storyline, you can put it in your X-Men collection. The final comic book figure that was revealed before the Toy Fair is X Nihilo. I can't pronounce that name, sorry. As for the story about him, I just call him X because I can't pronounce that name, I'm sorry. X and his sister Abyss were part of an intergalactic group known as the Gardeners, who were going around terraforming dead planets like Mars and trying to create the perfect human to hyper-evolve them into a perfect being. His master later sent a evolution bomb to Earth, which the Avengers tried to stop. They fought before the female Captain Universe told them to stop, which they did because they felt like she was more powerful than them, and so they had to obey her. He agreed and was made a member based in Mars. He also worked on trying to make the perfect human, which he created Nightmask. You will probably need this for your Avengers collection if you want to get every Avenger available, either as a foe or a member. Hopefully we'll get the female Captain Universe, Abyss, and Night Mask at some point. Otherwise, this figure is really going to stand out as being just this one-off character, which is a shame because when you make one character like that, you have to make the rest of the team he's involved with. I'm going to go on to the MCU figures next, but I just want to talk about two characters and two figures that you probably want to put into your comic collection because we don't have a comic book version of them. That being Nebula and Mantis. Like I said, while both of these figures are based on the MCU versions, Nebula is extremely close to what she's looking like at the comics in the moment, because she is a Pat's cyborg at the moment. She has a robotic arm and everything, as you can see in the image I'm about to put up. And Mantis, while she is very different to her comic counterpart in design, this will do nicely as a nice stand-in until we get her comic book form, along with hopefully Moondragon, because I want those two to be swappable figures because of the whole Celestial Madonna story arc. Look it up. You'll need both of these for your Cosmic and Guardians of the Galaxy collection, and Mantis is needed for your Avengers collection, as well as the Infinity Gauntlet saga and Infinity Watch team. She was a member in the 1970s and was part of the major Celestial Madonna, which saw her marrying the first Swordman, as well as the wedding of Vision and Scarlet Witch. And we go on to the final three figures for this wave, that being Rocket Raccoon, Gamora, and Star-Lord. Now I will say Rocket Raccoon and Gamora are huge improvements over the previous one. Rocket Raccoon especially because the last couple of figures, be it comic book or the MCU, were basically statues that can only move their arms and their head, and maybe their waist, but it's mostly their arms and their head and the tail. This one seems to be fully articulated and it looks great. It comes with a swappable head and it comes with a Kid Groot. Now Gamora is a huge improvement. It's still not perfect, but it's still better than we had before. She seems to come with a better sculpt, a better head sculpt, and she isn't flat chested like she was previously. She actually has a bit of a bust, so it's an all new sculpt for that, and a load of accessories that seems to be coming with it. Now the figure that I'm really pissed off at, I wouldn't say this, is Star-Lord. Star-Lord is basically the exact same figure we got in the first wave, with a new head sculpt, new paint, longer jacket, and a scarf. I feel like this is going to be another Malibu Stacy, basically a Malibu Stacy thing where you basically give him another thing, like it was the case with Doctor Strange in this Doctor Strange wave. Hopefully, he doesn't come with a build-a-figure like the first wave did, so you can skip him. If you have gotten the original figures, these mightn't be appealing to you, but they are huge. The Gamora and the Rocket Raccoon are huge improvements over those, so you might want to update your figure. The only one I said to skip is Star-Lord, because if you got the first one, you really don't need another one. And he's also coming in a Ego 2-pack, which I'll talk about next week. So if you're collecting MCU, these are a must, except for Star-Lord. So you can skip Star-Lord, but get the other two because they're huge improvements. Now we're going to go on to the best news I heard for general release, and that is the confirmation that we are getting at least one Thor Ragnarok wave, but they only revealed one figure, and that being the long sought after Jane Foster Thor, or as I like to call her, Lady Thor. I know it's not politically correct, but the reason I do that is because I know they're going to bring back Thor and give him the hammer, but I kind of want them to do it so that not only does Jane Foster keep being Thor, but also Thor will be Thor will be Thor himself, so we can have two Thors in the Marvel Universe. For those who don't know, this is a bit of a spoiler, so if you want to skip, go ahead. The original Thor was made to believe he was unworthy to wield Mjolnir, so it was left on the moon. Asgard at the time was based on the moon, and Jane Foster, who was staying in Asgard with breast cancer, happened upon the hammer and was deemed worthy to become female Thor. She has proven herself worthy to be Thor on a number of occasions, and she was told by the hammer herself, Mjolnir, when the hammer gained a human persona, I suppose you could say, that she was worthy to wield the hammer. She has since joined the Avengers, particularly the all-new, all-different Avengers. This one is obviously needed for your Thor collection as well as your Cosmic and of course your Avengers collection. And particularly if you want to complete the all-new, all-different Avengers, who we only need Iron Man now in his all-new, all-different costume. But I think that's going to come out in the Avengers Infinity War line next year. Lastly, we'll talk about the Marvel Knights wave, or the Defenders wave, or the Netflix wave, whatever you want to call it. These figures look fantastic. They look exactly like the actors. Well, I know we saw it, Jessica Jones and Punisher in, I think it was San Diego Comic-Con last year. So this is basically confirming that there will be a Marvel Knights wave. Daredevil looks fantastic. I won't be putting them on display because I like to keep my figures comic book based, but if I was to put it on display, it would be a nice stand-in for my comic book display. And being that a lot of the time they use the movie design, it might come into the comic books at some stage. Enchantress looks fantastic. The only thing I say about her is Hasbro, Elektra is one of the most agile characters in the Marvel Universe, and you still do not give her double jointed elbows. But she looks great, and they are using that design in the comic book at the moment, so it might be a nice stand-in for your It might be a nice stand-in for your Elektra if you never got the ones that were released previously. I would say that if you've never got Daredevil or Punisher, then these could be used as stand-ins until they get released again. Being that they're so popular at the moment, they'll probably get another figure as well. Elektra has started wearing a costume similar to this in the comics, so it might be nice to switch out the classic one with this. And Jessica Jones is the only one that is extremely unlikely to get another figure in the comic books. You may well use it in your comic book collection, and honestly, if they do make her, there will probably be either a repaint of this figure with a new head, or the dual version that they did in the Marvel Universe collection. Well, that's it for the general releases. What do you guys think? What you're going to get? What are you going to skip? I'm going to get them all because I'm a completionist. The Thor and Defenders wave will be fully revealed in San Diego Comic-Con, so wait for that. I don't have a general release date for any of these. I'm going to say that the Guardians of the Galaxy and the Spider-Man Homecoming will be out sometime in May or June. There's rumors that the Defenders and Thor wave might be out in August, and there is a rumor of a third Guardian of the Galaxy wave, but none of that has been confirmed yet, so don't be asking when is release date for these. I know I went kind of long with these stuff, sometimes a bit rambling, but I was so excited for this weekend. Toy Fair is the second most important event for Marvel Universe, and we got loads of stuff. I can't wait for any of it. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Follow us on all the social media sites and the website. I will be putting up a small review on the first wave of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, the Tidus wave, if you're wondering what I'm talking about. And I will be updating the Spider-Man checklist. I will eventually get onto the other checklists like Doctor Strange and the the Ghost Rider and the rest of them. I will be trying to do something new. Next week I'll be doing the second part of this where I talk about all the exclusives. We actually have a lot, but it'll actually be probably a much shorter video than it was with this one, because other than that I'll be gushing over all these figures. After that, I'm going to do a 5-part special where I'll be talking about a certain original theme. Each week we have a different character and the focus on that, so look forward to that. I'll be back next week with the second part of this, so I'll see you when I see you.